Hello there and welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name is MK, and in today's episode we are going to discuss the proper way to set a stop loss order as well as having take profit orders set at the same time on the KUCOIN exchange. Now there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. We're going to discuss both in this video as well as give an example. And if that sounds interesting to you, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's go. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Now, this video should not be overly long, but knowing me, it'll probably go longer than intended. So I'll do you guys a favor and I will leave some timestamps in the description. Go ahead and use those if you're just looking for something specific and maybe don't feel like watching the entire video. Let's go. Now, this first thing that we're going to do, if you already know how to do, go ahead and skip ahead, use the timestamps in the description or, on the bottom of the video. But we're going to go ahead and purchase a quick coin that we can set a stop loss and take profits for. So I'm on the KUCOIN.com page. I'm logged in. We're going to navigate over here to where it says trade on the top left. And I'm going to go to the spot trading section. And once that loads up, I'm going to go up here to the top left where it's telling me BTC by default, and I'm going to click that area. And the coin that I'm going to purchase today is QRDO or Credo. I'm going to look for the USDT pair, and I'm going to click on that. Go ahead and let it load up the coin. And then I'm going to hop over here to the chart that I have pulled up. The reason I'm choosing this coin is Bitcoin's been a bit volatile right now. That's a different topic for a different video. But at any rate, I'm looking for something that's somewhat safe for the purchase or for the purpose of this video. And it looks like it's at support. Could potentially put in a double bottom. So we're going to go ahead and purchase it right at the level it's at right now. So I'm going to head back over to here. I have Credo up. I'm going to go down here in the spot section under limit. I'm going to click a recent price up here in the sell order book. And then I'm going to go ahead and put down that I want 100 Credo, which is $31. And I'm going to click buy. If the order fills right away, you should hear a cool sound. There it was. If it hadn't filled, it'd be sitting here under my open order section, which my face is in the way of. For the next step, we're going to discuss the wrong and the right way to do this. Now, most people, when they're trading a coin, they want to be able to set a stop loss, which is definitely recommended to, mitigate your risk. Risk management's important, and you want to be able to take profits as well at the same time. The wrong way is not going to allow you to set both at the same time. Now, the wrong way wouldn't be considered the wrong way if you didn't care about setting a stop loss, right? Now, again, you should care, but that's the first way I'm going to show you. We're going to hop over here on the chart, and we're going to say, okay, what if I want to take profits up here at about the mid-range? It's broke out, it's retested my falling wedge. Let's go ahead and get a quick measured move for that. Go ahead and drag that over to the breakout. Okay, I'm looking at maybe this level up here at about 36.04 is kind of where I want to take my profit. I'm going to go ahead and put a horizontal line there and turn it to green just to kind of remind myself that, hey, that's where I want to take profit at is 0.3604. I'm going to head over here to the exchange, and now we're going to go down here on the bottom right where it says limit, market, and stop limit, and make sure limit's clicked for the wrong way that we're going to show you. Now over here on the right side where it says sell, that's where we're going to type in the price of 0.3604, which I have determined to be where I would like to take my profits at. And I want to sell the entire amount of Credo that I have. Now, if you just wanted to sell, say, half of it, you could hit 50%, create that order, and then maybe choose another level, higher or lower to sell the other 50% at, right? But for the sake of this example, we're just going to sell it all. I'm going to click 100%, and it's telling me that if I sell 100% of my available Credo at 3604, the amount of profit or the amount of money that I would get back would be $36.04. I'm going to go ahead and click sell QRDO. And now I'm going to move my head out of the way really quick. One of these days I'll make a video where I remember to do that right off the bat when I'm using this KuCoin exchange. But anyway, down here on the bottom left now, you can see that it says open orders and it has my sell order placed there. Now we're going to hop back over to the chart and quickly figure out where we would like to set our stop loss. For today's video, we're not going to give any tips or tricks as far as it relates to, where you should be trying to set stop losses. A lot of that's personal preference anyway, but we will put out a future video where I at least give my strategies as it relates to that. For the purpose of this video, we're just going to pick an area and show you how you do it. So we're going to go ahead and say, okay, this major area of support that we've obviously been bouncing off of, which is roughly right around this horizontal line, that I'm going to put, and we'll change that back to white. I want to go back, and I'm looking at this wick over here. I want to go just below that. I'm going to go ahead and click Alt-H. I'm going to change that line to red. That's always what I personally do just for my stop loss. And now I'm going to look and see what is that level, 0.2963. So keep that one in mind. Next up, we're going to hop back over to the chart. And this is going to be the most important part of this video if you're new to how to set stop losses and take profits, which most of you will be if you click the link to this video. And so this will be the part for the next 2 minutes or so, or however long it takes me to explain these key important things that you might want to watch once, twice, maybe 3 times, just to kind of let it sink in and understand. The first thing I'm going to say is you cannot use regular limit to set a stop loss. If you use regular limit, let's just say I didn't even have a sell order here set up, so it was just nothing yet, and I just want to set a stop loss first. If you put in a limit sell order for a price lower than the current price, it's just going to find whatever the nearest price is to the current price, which in this case is 0.3120, right? And it's just going to execute your order there. So it's just going to close your order right after you just bought the coin. You bought the coin, you're going to try to set a stop loss using limit, and it's just going to turn right around and sell your coin. So that's just know you do not use that no matter what for a stop loss. What you do use is this one over here that says stop limit. Now, before I explain exactly what this wrong way is and why it's the wrong way, I need to briefly explain to you that when you're on stop limit over here, and again, stop limit, not stop market, stop limit, why is there this stop price, a regular price, and an amount? Let me quickly explain. So stop, or this top right one, this is where you want the order to trigger. So my stop loss that I put on my chart was 0.2963. Now, if I were to put that same price in this next one down that just says price, what it means is if it hits the price of 0.2963, it's going to attempt to sell however much Credo I tell it to try to sell. Well, here's the problem. There's a thing known as slippage, which can happen on some of these low coins that don't have low cap coins that don't have a lot of liquidity. And what it can mean is, let's just say I was trying to sell a very large amount of Credo, maybe $1,000 worth at this price. Well, if there wasn't enough buyers waiting there and Credo was dropping at a fast speed, right? It's just tanking because some bad news came out or Bitcoin's, dumping or whatever the case may be. It may only be able to fill some of my order, maybe only 1/10 of it or something, and the price of Credo just goes right down past that, and I'm still stuck holding a bunch of this coin that I thought I was going to get out of with this stop loss, right? So what you can do to avoid this slippage or give yourself a better chance of your stop loss filling is you can put a different price down here on the bottom one that's lower. This is going to be the lowest price that you're willing to basically take as far as your stop loss, right? So I can come down here and I made a second line just a little bit below. I have 0.2963 and I went down a little bit to 0.2923. This is going to be just come down to your risk management and risk tolerance and whatever. This is personal preference. But I put 0.2923. I come back over here to the exchange. I'm going to change that second number to that. And what this means now, as soon as the price of Credo, or if the price of Credo went down to 0.2963, that would open up or trigger the order of 0.293. And it means at that point, it will attempt to sell the amount of specified Credo by me, whatever I specify, at this price here, all the way up to this price. It can use any price between these two, or all the different buy orders that might exist between those two, to attempt to fill my stop loss. So at this point, I could put 100%, and this is where the next part comes in, is that it's telling me I have 0 available Credo. This goes back to why I was going to tell you this is the wrong way to set a stop loss. The reason it's wrong is you cannot have a regular limit sell order at the same time as a stop limit. It's going to tell you that you have no Credo because all of it's tied up in this sell order. So what do we have to do to fix this or do it the right way? Well, let's discuss. So the first thing that we're going to do over here on the bottom left is we're going to click right here off to the right of this limit sell order we previously created, and we're going to click cancel. It's going to make that same sound that it usually makes. Boom, it canceled the sell order. And now we're going to go ahead and just set our stop loss first. I'm going to leave these same numbers, 0.2963, 0.2923, and I'm going to go ahead and click 100% again. And lo and behold, now it is telling me I have 100 available Credo that I can sell. I'm going to go ahead and click down here at the bottom where it says sell. And now it's going to create that order for me. Now you'll notice it's not showing up over here on the bottom left under open orders. Why is that? Well, it's because they consider a stop limit order to be an advanced order. So I'm going to click that section, and now it's going to show up. It's saying that there's an advanced order or advanced stop limit order to sell. The stop price is 0.2963, and the price that I'm trying to sell it at or higher is 0.2923. So now that we've set a stop loss the correct or proper way, I'm going to show you now how you can set up multiple take profit levels using the same technique, which is this stop limit. I'm going to hop back over here to the chart, and I've already created some levels that I'm eyeing that I'd like to set up as my take profits. Over here on the first one, I have 0.3604, which was the original one we spoke about, and I'm willing to go as low as 0.3572 to execute or fill that full order. So 3604, 3572. I'm going to come back over here on the bottom right, make sure we're still under stop limit. We're going to type in 0.3604 and 0.3572. Just to quickly once again explain what this means is price will need to reach this top one, which is the trigger price, or as they call it, the stop price. Once it reaches that, it will attempt to sell my specified amount that I'm about to pick between that price or as low as, this price, 0.3572. So all the prices between there. Ideally, it will try to fill it at 0.3604 if it's able to, but if there's not enough buyers waiting at that price, it will attempt to fill that order between that price and this price here. I'm going to go ahead and click 50%. That's the amount that I'd like to set up. I'm going to do 2 take profit levels, half at this price, half at the next. I'm going to go ahead and click Sell Credo, and it's going to create over here under the advanced orders another order that says that it will trigger at 3604. I'm going as low as 3572, and it's half of my available Credo. To set the second one, we're going to hop back over here to the chart and check out those 2 numbers I have set up. The top one over here on the right, you can see is a 0.3742 and 0.3706. So 3742, 3706. So we're going to go 0.3742 on the top, 0.3706. I know I'll be beating the same drum over and over again, or beating a dead horse, as they say, but one more time. Price will need to reach this to trigger this order. It won't trigger it by this bottom price. It will trigger it by the top price, and at that point, it will attempt to sell my specified amount of Credo, and if it's not able to fill it all there, it will go as low as 0.3706 in this case to, hopefully fill or execute that order. We're going to do 50% again to sell the other 50, half of my Credo, and I'm going to click Sell Credo. Now we'll see all of my 3 orders set up, my one that is my stop loss down here at the bottom, and my 2 take profit levels. The last thing I wanted to mention that is a little confusing, but I still felt I should mention, is you could set as many of these stop limit orders as you want, but keep in mind that it's not tying up any of your, in this case, Credo, whatever coin you're trying to set these, stop losses or profit levels for. And why that can be confusing is you would think if you set up a, take profit level for, in this case, 50 or half of my Credo, when I went to set the second one, that I would want to do 100% or all of the left available Credo. But as you can see, as I set these up, it's not ever changing what I have available here. The reason why that can be confusing is, let's say you went ahead and set a, take profit level at 50%, and then the next one you did, 100%, like I said, on accident. It's going to act like that next order set up to sell 100, but because your first one took 50% of it, your second one will still work as normal. It's just going to sell the rest of what you have left. In the case of, let's say you did 50% the first time and only 25% the second time, yes, that would end up selling 75% between the 2 sell orders, should they execute, of your Credo, but you'd still have 25% sitting there, which in this case would be 25 Credo. So you just need to be able to keep that in mind. So if you're going to set more than 2, or you're using weirder percentages like 25, 35, you may need to use a calculator to figure out what that amount is as far as, relative to the amount of the coin you're holding. In this case, 100 is a very easy number to use because, whatever amount you're trying to sell of that, it's just an easy thing to figure out. 35% of 100 Credo would be 35, 50% would be 50, but it could be an odd, obscure number like 250 Credo, and I'm trying to figure out what 60% of that is, in which case you'll need to use a calculator. I'm not going to explain that in this video, but just know that if you're trying to use different percentages than these, it can get a little more complicated. But most of the time, I'm just doing like 50 and 50, or maybe I'm doing 50, 25, and 25. 50 maybe being my first take profit level, and then my other 2 to sell the remaining. I do 25% and 25%. As long as all of your orders add up to 100% or add up to the total amount of the asset you're holding, it will work out good. Also, it's important to realize that you can also set up your stop loss, in multiple orders as well. Let's say that at a certain price when Credo reached, I wanted to get out of half of my position, but I still wanted some exposure to the position just in case the market flipped back around. Maybe I'm really bullish on Credo long term, but I'm just looking to get out of half my position and maybe buy back in at a lower price if it goes there. Same concept applies. I could set up another, sell order. I could cancel this previous one out where I was selling all of 100 of it, maybe recreate it, but only do 50. And then, go back to my chart, find a level down here lower, do some more TA, figure out another spot that I'd like to have the other half sell if Credo continues to dump. And then I could create another order down at those prices using the same criteria that we discussed in this video. Bam, bam, boom, there you go, right? So I just want to point those couple of things out. Thank you so much for sticking around to this point. And as always, if you're enjoying my videos, do me a favor and help out the algo. And I'm not talking about the coin, I'm talking about the algorithm, by leaving me a like and subscribe. And we'll catch you tomorrow. It's T-A